Okay,
Thanks, Bill.
no problem.
Very much. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. We will call to order this regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, the last one of the year, today being Tuesday, December 31 of 2024. Welcome, everybody who is in attendance. Note that the meeting is being live streamed and recorded, and we would request if you have a cell phone, if you'd please put it on vibrate or silent. We thank you for that courtesy. We always begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, then would ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. And Mr. Vanasco, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you, everybody. I should have noted that we, of course, keep in our thoughts the family of former President Carter, and we yesterday lowered the flags to half-staff, and look it up, and the law stipulates that when a president or a former president passes away, the flag must remain at half-staff for 30 days. Keep note of that. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Here.
Commissioner Vogler.
Here. As we do at every meeting, we have two opportunities for public comment, one in just a few moments and then one before we adjourn. We ask if you have comments that they be related to county government matters, and you're welcome to speak both times or just once if you wish, or if you're just here to listen, that's equally fine. Next on the agenda, we always set aside time for our row officers in case they happen to be in attendance, but today none of them are. So that takes us to public comment. I'll open it up to see if anybody at this time in the audience has a comment for us. Hearing none. We'll move along then. In our packet, and by the way, these documents are available for anybody who wishes to see them. And Debbie, when we're done, I'll hand my packet over to you. The warrant registers from the Controller's Office, which are dated December 18, 20, and 23. Gentlemen, I'll give you time to look them over. Take whatever time you need, and then whenever you're ready, I could take a motion for us to accept these documents. I move we accept the one-off records.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Do either of you have any questions? If not, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The minutes of the December 17 meeting are in our packet. We did not meet on December 24. So gentlemen, I'll give you time to look them over, and whenever you're ready, I could take a motion for us to adopt the minutes, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Gentlemen, thank you both. Do any of you have any concerns regarding the minutes? If not, I'll ask Vanessa to do a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata.
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Under written communications, we've received two documents that we'll enter into the record. The first is from SA Recycling, which is based in Orange, California. The letter notes that SA Recycling, located at 214 Gardner Avenue in the city of Newcastle, is submitting a renewal permit application to the DEP for their recycling operations. And this document is signed by Joel Moscaso, who is the East Coast Environmental Manager for SA Recycling. The next document comes from Apex. It's a company based in Greensburg. Engineering and Environmental Services Company. They're writing on behalf of their client, Americold Aggregates, which is based in Butler County. And this involves mining that they are currently doing in Wayne Township of Lawrence County. They are submitting documentation to the DEP for a renewal of permits. And the project is north of and adjacent to their current active Welsh quarry. And it does just provide a description of the location, which is near State Route 288 and Jockey Moore Road in Wayne Township. And this document is signed by Dawn Leasock, who is Senior Technician for Apex Companies. Gentlemen, those are the two documents we've received. Would one of you care to make a motion for us to accept them?
I'll make that motion to accept the documents.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Do either of you have any questions or concerns about either of these documents? Okay, thank you. We'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Next on the agenda would be commissioner reports and comments. And today, Commissioner Sanada, you're listed first.
Oh, thank you, Chairman. 2 weeks since our last meeting. I'm trying to think of the activity over the last 2 weeks with the holiday season and everything. Probably one highlight I did, I had a chance to go to the soft opening of the new barbecue, Lost Line Barbecue right down the street here a week ago on Saturday. And I was impressed with the job that they did there. I think this was the 5th opening of a restaurant in downtown Newcastle the past year. So I think it's going to make a nice addition on this end of town. I know the gentleman, it's something unique. As we've seen with the La Bistro downtown and the bar spot up, above the hill there, and with the Union Station and the beer place where my old office used to be. I think you're seeing a lot of things start to happen downtown Newcastle. And it's very unique type of businesses, I think, which would be good for downtown. So I just thought that was probably the highlight last weekend. There hasn't been that many community events just because of the holiday season. But I did have a chance to see that. I was impressed with it. I'm wishing them well as they all move forward. It's just that you're starting to see things happen in the community. I'm just happy to see that. So that's pretty all my comments for today.
Thank you, Chris, very much. I guess I'm up next. Two things quickly. Later in the meeting, we will be voting to hire an individual to replace Artisha Foster, who is retiring as the director of our tax claim office. Tish was here at our last meeting, and we wished her well at that time, but we'll do so again. Artisha has been a tremendous employee and a tremendous leader here at the county in her role as the director of the assessment office. And I've always been impressed, especially with her attention to detail. She doesn't leave that office until everything balances to the penny. And we greatly appreciate her many years of service to the county. And of course, today is the last day that Judge Motto will be the president judge. He retires effective at the end of the workday today. He will remain a senior judge, and from what I understand, he will still come to the courthouse on Thursdays for treatment court, which we're pleased that will continue. I want to thank Debbie Walker for the wonderful article that she wrote about Judge Motto. It was a very, very nice article. We're sorry to see the judge go. We're happy for him. We're happy that he's going to remain a senior judge. And we're looking forward to a good, strong working relationship with incoming President Judge J. Craig Cox. We've worked well with Judge Cox through the years, and I expect that the transition in the courts is going to be seamless. Judge Cox is a first-class professional and has certainly a good temperament, as does Judge Motto. So we're again, looking forward to our time ahead with Judge Cox and his role as the president judge. That's all I have. I'll turn it over to my colleague, Commissioner Kennedy.
One thing, Dan, it's hard to believe it's been a year, but I had that conversation with Judge Motto a year ago. Boy, you got a year to go. I just had the same conversation with Judge Hodge this morning. Said that year is gonna go quick, and enjoy it, because it'll go, and it did with Judge Motto. We're gonna miss him, see him in the morning, but he'll be around. It has been a quick year, a very good year. I just hope I get through tonight and move into 2025, and I can forget 2024, as you guys are well aware. But geez, we look at it, this first year, Chris and I, it's flown. As you told us getting into this, there's never a dull moment here, and every day it's something different. It sure is, sure has been. So we thank everybody here at the courthouse for this first year, and we look for the next 3, and we'll see what happens after that. So thank both of you. It's been a very great year working with both of you and Joe. And of course, we can't live without her over here on the right. She does it for all of us, so we thank them all.
Thank you, Dan. The feeling is mutual. We move on to new business. Our first resolution, and Vanessa, can you tell us the number, please?
385.
I'm sorry, 385?
Yes.
Thank you. This is resolution 385, and this is the proposed budget for the upcoming calendar year. The commissioners introduced the budget on December 10 through resolution 2024-373. As we noted at the time, law requires that the budget be on display for 21 days, which it has been. And we do have to adopt it. Today is actually the last day for us to adopt it, because it'll go into effect tomorrow. We thanked him before, but we need to thank him again, and that's the gentleman sitting to my left, our county administrator, Joe Vanasco, who put many, many hours into this. He worked closely with the department heads and the elected officials. He had good assistance from the controller's office, as well as our good friend over in in NHDS, Albert Antonelli. We thank all those folks. But Joe, couldn't happen without you. As we've noted, the budget is balanced and does not include any change to the real estate tax, which, as we've said many times, is the only tax we are permitted to levy. Let me see if my colleagues have any comments before we move forward. Dan, anything you'd like to say?
Nothing, just big thing is we kept it tax rate the same, which is, I think, one of the goals we had. And thank you, Joe. I've been in your office how many times when you're working on this thing, and boy, a lot of hard work goes into it. We thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Commissioner Sonato?
Yeah, I'll echo my two colleagues. I think that this was the first budget that I've had to deal with as a commissioner. I've dealt with budgets for many 20 years in Harrisburg, and that whole process would begin in January and go through June. And, this was a little bit of a different process, and I do want to commend you, Joe, and Albert, and the controller, and everyone, like Dan said. I think our focus was, when I got here, I sat with Joe, and we've had many conversations throughout the years as the budget process moved forward. And, I think the message was set early on. I think all 3 of us was, fiscal responsibility and not to raise taxes. I think that was so, important for all of us. And I think throughout the year, we kept a close eye on the spending. And, I commend the other row officers for their fiscal restraint. As you said, many were stayed the same or just barely went up, and some actually went down. And I commend them for their actions in that. I mean, because it's not easy, I had to make this adjustment. I'll talk about that later when I give comments again. But, go through this budget process, I think I'm very happy with it. I think, our focus, we had to get through the ARPA on May the 7th when we gave the rest of the money away. And as I said that day, and I say it now, when we have to spend money at the county level, we have to do it responsibly. And I always don't like just giving money away. I like to invest money. And I think this budget says that. We've made investments throughout the year through economic development. When Dan sits on that board, we made some good investments there. We made investments with some of our social services and things like that, which we hope to see dividends paid in the future. And I think that's so important as we go on to the next year. I think we want to keep that same focus in mind of fiscal responsibility, making sure, and hopefully come a year from now, we're going to say the same thing. We don't have to raise taxes. Let's hope a disaster doesn't occur or something that would cause that. Because as Commissioner Vogler would always say, we get revenue one way, and that's property tax. We don't have a luxury of an income tax. We don't have a luxury of a sales tax. And we have to be very cognizant of that because that affects a lot of seniors, that affects a lot of working people, and that affects business in the community. So to be able to get through without an increase, I think that speaks volumes of everyone involved in the process. And hopefully that process will continue and that same philosophy will continue as we move forward. So I just wanted to express my thanks to you, Joe, and Albert, and everyone, because you know how many times we sit there and you go through those numbers, and I go see you a week later, and well, the numbers changed a little bit. You look at each agency and their needs and concerns. You know, things can come up. And you know, what amazes me, because we have to, public's information, in order to spend money, it takes two of us to have to sign. And we go through it, we all do this, pretty much together. Whenever we're there, we look and see the expenses that go out. And I'll be honest, I didn't know the amount of expenses that we have as a county. Just to pay for things and go through that whole process. So there's a lot of procedures in the system to make sure that the money's spent wisely. The money is, you go to the best vendors, you try to save whenever you can save it. So I think, from a learning experience, that's what I took out of some of that. So that's really all I have to say on the budget. Look forward to getting this thing passed.
Chris? Well, Joe, any comments on your part?
No, just again, thank you to the commissioners. It does take a lot of time. It's a process that started September 1st with the department heads and with really getting after budget. So it's a long process, and I know it takes a lot of my time, and the commissioners have always been supportive of that as it goes towards the budget. And special thank you to department heads and elected officials. I think I said this a few weeks ago. I believe 16 of our 33 or 34 departments at the initial budget came in under where they were at last year with what they submitted. And that makes that process so much easier. When that happens, obviously Controller Prestipine and the work that he put in, and also Albert Antonelli from MHDS. He's come over and really, he's a wizard with the computer and spreadsheets and so forth. So he's a great help in the process as well. And I appreciate their time. I know all three of us, Controller Prestipine, Albert Antonelli, and myself, there's a lot of times 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night we were working on the budget. And it's really become a process that's, that's kind of seamless right now. So I appreciate everybody's support. Outside of that, from when it went on display, just a couple minor adjustments will be found in the final budget. I had a typo in a line item for JPO vehicles where I had $400. It was $4,000, so we made the adjustment. Elected officials, when we started the process, we're looking at the COLA for elected officials, and it was I had it at 3.47% at that time. It went to 3.5, and the adjustments have all been made in the budget from December salary.
Thank you again for everything that you did to pull this together, Joe. We're very grateful. Well, we need to approve proposed resolution 385, which will then put the budget in place officially. Would one of you gentlemen care to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second the motion.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Are there any other final comments? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sanado?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The budget is now adopted. In conjunction with that, one of the things we have to do on an annual basis is determine the percentage figure for employee contributions towards their health insurance costs. Some of the employees who are members of the various unions adhere to the language in the respective union contracts. The way this resolution is worded, that it states that healthcare contribution costs, which would cover health insurance, will be a maximum of 6% of the premium cost of the policy effective January 1, 2025 for non-union management and county compensated elected officials. Again, noting that the union employees fall under the language in their respective contracts. Joe, anything else on this matter?
No, it's just, you know, a lot of times department heads go off of what the union negotiates in their various departments and so forth. But, you know, some are 5%, some are 6%, it's a maximum of 6%. That's the highest. I believe the absolute union that negotiated 6%.
Okay. So some employees will be contributing 5%.
That's correct.
And it's not 5% of their income or salary, it is 5% of the cost of the insurance. I can recall when we first implemented this process many years ago, there was some confusion. Some people thought, oh my goodness, they're taking X% of my income. It's not that, it's the cost of the policy for each employee. Dan, any questions on this proposal? Thank you, Chris.
I'm just happy to see that the actual cost went down a little bit,
Yes.
which is very rare, so we're very pleased to see that.
I'll note that when I started here 20 years ago, if I recall correctly, at the time, there was no contribution from employees at that time. So through the years, there has been the implementation of a portion being taken from each employee to go towards the cost of the health insurance. This is resolution 386. Would someone care to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you, Dan. We'll take a roll call, please, assuming there are no other questions.
Commissioner Sanado?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Proposed resolution 387, we noted earlier in the meeting that Artisha Foster is retiring. I believe her last day is Friday of this week, or is it Monday of next?
It's third.
Oh, that'd be this Friday. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was next Monday or this Friday, but, so Tish will be wrapping up. We posted the position both internally as well as externally. When I say we, our HR department did that. They received a number of applications. They worked in conjunction with our county administrator, and I believe they consulted with the solicitor as well.
Very much so. And our solicitor works very closely with that office.
Yep, he has a firsthand knowledge of what they do day in and day out. We did receive a number of applications, again, both external folks as well as some internal folks. How many, I'm not sure. Do you know the total number that came in? 7, thank you. And we conducted interviews of 3 of those. When I say we, the commissioners in conjunction with Mr. Manasco and Attorney Madore. And what we have before us is a resolution that would name Brian Burek to serve as the tax claim director, and he would start his role on Monday, January 6th of 2025. Of course, Mr. Burek is a former county commissioner, having been elected to, I believe, at least 2 terms back in the 90s. And then he was appointed last year to fill a vacancy. So Mr. Burek does come to the position with firsthand knowledge of that office, as well as firsthand knowledge of the overall operations of county government. This resolution, as it's proposed, would name Mr. Burek as the new tax claim director. Let me see if Mr. Sanada has any comments.
No, I think the process was a fair process. I know that our administrator and our solicitor had criteria that had to be met in order for the applicants to move forward. That's how I believe it. That's how we got down to 3. Am I correct, Joe?
That's correct.
Yeah, out of the 3, we did the interview process, and Mr. Burek come out on top of that. So I just think the process was very fair. So.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy, any comments?
None.
Okay, thank you, sir. I should note that of the 3 that were interviewed, 2 were interviewed in person. The 3rd individual was done by a telephone conference call that was with Mr. Vanasco and Attorney Bedore. Is that my recollection?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Well, we have in front of us proposed resolution 387. Would someone care to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Sanada. Is there a second? I will offer the second to the motion. Any final comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
No.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Next on the agenda is, we have Chad Strobel, our Public Safety Director, with us, and Chad has a couple of proposals for us to consider. Chad, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
And I hope you're doing well. That's good. Appreciate you taking the time to join us. The first proposed resolution would be 388, and this involves a contract. I'm assuming it's a renewal with a company known as IGS Energy, which provides electricity services specifically to the Public Safety Department building in Hickory Township. And would it also include the various communication towers that have the various little substations at each of them?
That's correct, yes. It'll
Okay.
cover all 9 of our sites and our facility, County Line Road.
And I'll let you finish and fill us in on what all was involved here, please.
This will be to lock in our rate for the next 12 months, starting January 1st. It was about a month ago, 2 months ago, we approved to use our consultant, our broker, to seek out a good electric rate. And this is what they came back with, which is, I believe, what the government center and the government center's facilities went with as well. So we'll be with the same, locked in with the same company, different broker, but we got the same company to lock in our electric rate for the coming year. So you guys approved IGS. We would have had this a couple weeks ago, but they set up a couple incorrect addresses, and we had to get everything kind of sorted out. We missed the deadline for the last meeting you guys had. So we'll just be locking in that rate for the next 12 years. Again, that's for all of our tower sites.
Chad, you said 12 years?
Up to 12 months, sorry.
Thank you. That'd be nice. 12 years would be nice, Chad.
So, but yeah, that's our 10 sites, County Line Road, Spartan Drive, Spartan Park. We have 2 facilities, 2 buildings there. Newcastle Road up in New Wilmington, that's one of our tower sites. We run space off of American Tower there. Matilda Avenue, we run space off American Tower. Woodbridge Lane is Crown. McKim Road is Crown, McKim Road is Army Corps of Engineers, we rent space off of them. Jockeymoor Road is Crown, Boland is our tower site, and Pulaski is our tower site. Those are owned by the county.
Forgive my interrupting you, but you mentioned the Jockeymoor Road, which is in Wayne Township, and you heard us talk about the mining activity down there. There's no direct impact on that, to your knowledge?
No, it's a couple miles away down the bottom of the hill. It's pretty far away. You can see it. You can see everything from Jockeymoor Road Tower site. You sit up there and listen to Beaver Valley, the racetrack over
Oh,
there.
yeah, across the river.
You can listen to that, you know, and you can hear it all, see it all up there. So,
And Chad, I use the word substation, that's probably not the appropriate word. What are the, what utilizes electricity at the sites of the communication towers?
We have every place, we have a shelter, small building that contains all the computer equipment, so the HVAC units in the run the shelter, the lighting. We have inverters to run the batteries. Most of our equipment runs off a 12-volt battery. So it comes in, charges the batteries, comes out of the batteries to run the radios. We also have servers up there. We have microwaves to complete the hop. So from Spartan Park, that hops to I believe, Mercer Road. That Mercer Road jumps to Jockeymoor Road, and it creates a mesh network. So if one system goes down, the rest of it picks it up and keeps the radio systems going. So it runs the shelter, the lighting, the HVAC units, the radios, the computers in there, keeps everything going. And none of our tower sites, well, Pulaski is, it runs the FAA light on top of the four aircraft.
And I have to, I apologize to you a second time now because I kind of jumped in on you while you were describing all this. So forgive me, I should have waited to ask my questions. That being said, do you have more to add?
No, that's it. I mean, we're just locking in again, same provider that the rest of the county went with. Took a different route, but we went to the same provider, same rates and everything. So that will lock us in for the next 12 months at a rate. And we go through a lot of electric, especially our facility, County Line Road. It would have been an outrageous expense to run a gas line just for our building out there. So all of our heat's electric, everything is electric out there. So finding a good rate is important.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your diligence on this, and I'm going to ask Mr. Kennedy if he has questions.
Nothing. Thank you, Chad, for getting this done.
Thank you, Dan. Commissioner Sanada? No. All righty, so you're asking us to give our approval to this. Since you are asking that, I'll see if by the way, IGS stands for Interstate Gas Supply, LLC. But that being said, gentlemen, would one of you care to make a motion for Resolution 388?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Thank you both. And if there are no other questions, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. Next is Resolution 389, and this would be for us to enter into a contract with Bearcom. They're based out of Dallas, Texas. The amount of this service agreement is $72,636 for the calendar year 2025. And then if, Chad, if you'd be kind enough to give us a rundown on what services Bearcom provides to us.
Yes, this will be a renewed contract, existing contract. We're just renewing for the 2025 calendar year. Bearcom, previously Staley, is who we utilize as a vendor for many years for our radio systems. They're Staley Bearcom now. They have our shop that we use locally is Boardman, Ohio. We also have Pittsburgh and West Virginia around this area. We have technicians out of all of them that work with us. This will be a contract to maintain various systems, our paging systems, so we can notify fire departments of incidents, the various radios and systems we use to broadcast the radio transmissions. 31, I believe we're at now, 31 cameras at our facility and the 105 cameras here at the courthouse will be covered under this contract. All of the computers and switches that move the data across, and the microwave systems, which that one came handy yesterday. I got a call about 7 o'clock that one of our towers was down. ended up being just a small mechanical issue with the generator to replace a engine coolant heater in it. But that showed us that there was another problem with one of our other towers. The communication link wasn't working correctly. So they were out by 7:30, ordered the part, had it installed by 9 o'clock, sent the old part back to get serviced, and it was all taken care of by noon. The Paracom was on it. They found it, called me, we sorted it out, and it was all handled by noon. So they'll take care of, like I said, all of our paging, all of our radio systems, all the cameras, both here and at the County Line Road facility. And be on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A lower rate than it would be to call them out, without a contract in place. This will be $72,636 billed monthly at $6,053 a month. And I believe the majority of this comes out of our state funding for the 901 Center. So it's very small impact on the general funds of the county.
Thank you for all of that information. It's very helpful. And Mr. Sonata, do you have questions for Mr. Strobel? No. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
No, I'm just well aware of Veracom. I know they always did a great job for me, and I'm sure you're a little bit bigger than what Wilmington Township is. They take care of you. Some good people up there.
What did you use them for at the township?
Radios.
Oh, okay.
Communication.
Okay. Good.
We had problems. We couldn't communicate with trucks, and I called them, and we had to wait some time because of COVID getting parts, but once they got up and running, it worked perfect.
Oh, we waited over a year to get an antenna to replace one of our sites that was down for a while, but it's back up now.
They weren't the only ones in that problem either.
Well, Chad, appreciate again, you're giving us all of this helpful information. Dan and Chris, this is proposed resolution 389. Would one of you care to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And if there are no other questions, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes?
motion carries.
Thank you. Chad, I do want to thank you. You've one of the many things that you do is you're tremendous at keeping us in the loop when things happen throughout the county. And we're very grateful to you for that. We hope 2025 is a safe year for everybody. So. Also, did anyone mention to you that this Thursday at 10 o'clock, we're going to be having an executive session of salary board?
Yes, correct.
You're aware of that? Okay, you're able to stop by?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
We were,
Gentlemen, anything else for Mr. Strobel?
Just thanks for the job, Chad.
well, thank you. Thank you for your continued support. You guys, this first year, appreciate it very much and look forward to next year.
You bet. Well, Happy New Year to you and your family, Chad.
Happy New Year.
Let's hope it's Jeff.
Sure.
Will give us the weather forecast. I got your latest one now.
It's not looking, our probability of much snow is not very high here, mostly down, Somerset, down in the mountains, that area. Again, our Pittsburgh area covers, parts of Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, western side of Pennsylvania. So we're getting a lot of alerts because of the southern mountains, snow, down in Seven Springs, that area, West Virginia.
So if you're alert, you send them 24/7 to us. So I'm sitting in bed and I look, something's from Chad. I guess, what's going on, but I was like, winter alert. I'm looking out, it's just,
Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna get some snow, and I'm seeing it probably go from a little bit of rain over to, a little bit of a mixed stuff over to snow, but we're not, right now, predicted to get too much. If you like skiing, looks like the mountains are gonna be good.
So if we get a lot of snow, blame it. You're just like the weather guy.
That's where I get my information, we don't work together. It's a conspiracy. You're welcome. But Happy New Year, thank you
You too,
all
Chad.
very much.
Chad, take care. This next proposal, which would be Resolution 390. We do this every year, gentlemen. It's a little bit lengthy, but we have to transfer money from each department and row office as it relates to our HRA, which is our health oh my goodness, drawing a blank. It's what covers over and above what our health insurance covers.
Health reimbursement.
Health reimbursement, thank you.
You're welcome.
And every year at this time, when we get to the end of the budget year, which in this case would be the 2024 budget year, we do have to make transfers. Suffice it to say, the total amount of this year's transfer is $233,800. And I'll quickly go down the list so we have it as entering into the record. Although it does vary from office to office. Let me just say that it's coming from HRA. There are a couple exceptions and I'll note them, but they're coming from HRA in the following amounts: $400 into the register and recorder benefit line item, $11,100 into the voter's office benefit line item, $18,800 into the controller's benefit line item, $2,500 into the solicitor benefit line item, $5,500 into the tax claim benefit line item. Now, for the treasurer's office, $115,000 from the treasurer's FICA line item. Then getting back to HRA, $6,100 into the treasurer benefit line item. $17,250 into the court benefit line item, $1,800 into District Judge Cartwright's benefit line item, $23,700 into the public defender benefit line item, $2,200 into the coroner benefit line item, $15,250 into the district attorney benefit line item. And then from the treasurer's FICA line item, $1,900 into EMA, Emergency Management Office benefit. Getting back to HRA, $3,900 into the jail benefit line item. And then finally, $8,400 into NHDS benefit line item. So the total amount of this transfer, which as we noted, we do this every year, $233,800. Joe, anything to add?
No.
Okay. Chris, any questions? No. Dan?
No.
Okay, thank you. Would one of you care to make a motion for resolution 390?
I'll make that.
I'll second.
I thank you both, and if there are no other questions, Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We have a few transfers to consider this morning. I'll enter them into the record. Gentlemen, stop me as I go through here. If you have any questions, just interrupt me. And then when we get to the end, we can either vote on them individually or we can take them as a group. The planning office is requesting a $150 transfer from grants and programs line item into their access line item. The assessment office is asking for a $1,000 transfer from their contingency into travel and training. The maintenance department is asking for a $240 transfer from their employee insurance and benefit line item into that of internet. District Judge Amodi's office is asking for a $1,000 transfer from their postage line item into their staples line item. The Prothonotary office is asking for a $500 transfer from their travel line item into their telephone line item. Under the commissioners, we're asking for a $300 transfer from the temporary part-time staff line item into contracted services. Public defender is requesting a transfer of $444.15 from their contingency into their staples line item. The district attorney's office is requesting $150 coming from their maintenance and repair line item into their postage line item. And then the Prothonotary would like to request $300 from their materials and supplies into their postage. And then finally, maintenance would like to request $4,300 coming from their materials and supplies into their maintenance and repairs. Also $500 from their gas line item into their telephone and internet line item. Mr. Kennedy, do you have any concerns?
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sanada?
No.
Gentlemen, that being said, would one of you wish then to make a motion to approve all the transfers that are listed?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I thank you both. And if there are no other concerns, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you, Vanessa.
You're welcome.
Some announcements, the commissioners will convene again a week from today for our weekly public meeting. That would be January 7th of 2025 at 10 o'clock in this room, open to the public. State law requires that all counties conduct an annual salary board meeting on the first Monday of the new year, which in this case is Monday, January 6th. The salary board will meet here at 10 a.m. and that's open to the public. The Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board meeting, which is open to the public, will take place on Tuesday, January 7th at 12 noon in this office. It's not listed on the agenda, but we've been notified that there will not be a planning commission meeting in the month of January. It was going to be taking place at the Elkhorn Borough Building, but that meeting's been canceled. And then finally, tomorrow, which is New Year's Day, it's a federal holiday, the courthouse will be closed in observance of the New Year's holiday. All being taken care of, I will open the floor. We have one member of the public with us, and that's Debbie Walker. And Debbie, any questions or concerns?
What's Brian Burrick's salary going to be, and will he be getting benefits?
The starting salary, what's it, 65?
65,000.
65. And I'm trying to recall, I thought he said that he is under his wife's benefit, correct? So I don't believe he will be
He's
asking,
locked out.
I believe he'll opt out.
Well, the controller's office figure says the base salary for that job's 41,000 right now.
The expectation is that that salary board on Monday, that will be addressed,
So it'll be changed to 65 if it passes.
if it passes. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Yes. I neglected to mention that Mr. Burrick is a resident of the city of Newcastle. We usually put where they're from, and Mr. Burrick does reside.
What's his experience in tax claim?
Well, for all the years he was a commissioner, the tax claim director reported to him and the other commissioners. So he had a working knowledge of that office as a county commissioner. Any other questions, Debbie?
No.
Thank you. Closing comments from my fellow commissioners, Mr. Sonata?
Well, as we close out the year, Mr. Kenny, had some earlier comments, and I'd just like to address what we have done this year. It's hard to believe that we've gone through the whole year. As of Thursday, we will be 1 year of swearing in. And, first, I'd like to thank you, Chairman Vogler, for your advice and efforts this year as the chairman of this board. Because it's an interesting, I had to transition. I transitioned from the legislative branch to the semi-executive branch. That's the way I look at this. We vote, but we're pretty much executive branch. And sometimes that could be a little more difficult. But I think you helped make the transition easy for me. And I said this before, I've known you 40 plus years. I didn't know Commissioner Kennedy. I didn't represent Wilmington Township. And I met him last year. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Kennedy, as well. I think that we've shown that we can work professionally together. I think we've accomplished a lot this year as far as activities in the community. We're seeing economic development occur throughout the community. It's a slow process. Thank you, Ms. Commissioner Kennedy. Your efforts on the board there is important. Myself on the Tourist Promotion Agency, we're seeing some positive things happen in that area. And we look at, what's happening with the Southwest region. And I got the opportunity, thank you, Chairman, you stepped down in July, and I've been working close with Joe Foyes and the group up there. So I'm saying we're seeing things happen. It's a slow process. It's something that's not going to happen overnight, but we are definitely heading in the right direction. I think we're seeing things throughout the county in positive, whether it's Elwood City, Shenango, the city of Newcastle and Shannon, everywhere. I mean, every municipality, you're seeing positive things starting to happen. And especially in the city of Newcastle. They mentioned earlier the 5 restaurants this past year I think that's so important. I mean, it is the city, it is the county seat. It's important that the city come back. I think you got a nice group there in the city. They're enthused and want to try to do some things, and we're here to help any municipality throughout the county. And I think we've shown that, and we do it in the right way. And I think they understand. We're fiscally restrained in what we can do sometimes, but I think we've shown support to most any municipality that's come here asking for letters of support, things like that. I think that's very important. So I just want, like I said, thank both of you because it's been an opportunity to serve the people. And I think that's important. Like I said, I've always enjoyed doing it. I'm in my 39th year, if you want to count my 10 years as a congressional aide, of doing public service. And I've seen a lot of changes over the years. And I've seen, negatives and positives occur. But I think, we're starting to see positive things again in the community. And I think it takes everybody, no matter, where you're coming from. So I'd just like to just end this year, wish everyone a happy new year and look forward to 2025. And I think if we can continue on the path that we've done, I think you're going to see a lot of positive things happen in the community next year. So that's what I have to say, Dan.
Thank you, sir, very much. Mr. Kennedy, any closing remarks?
Yeah, Chris, same to you. It's been an enjoyable year. I didn't know what to expect when I got in here, and I tell you, it's been a challenge. Challenge is one big thing with the Orange County Economic Board, where we've seen people don't realize how much changes have taken effect. We saw the old Elliott Steel is going to get reused with United Refractories coming in there. The other day, they just got the Steel Light deal all done in Shannon Township along with Ben at the Orange County Economic Board. Got that all going through. Hopefully we see bulldozers out there pretty soon and a big building going up. With John LaCarte, meeting John and getting to know John down at the Stonecrest Park. There's some big activity going on down there right now. If it comes through, it would be a nice boost for Orange County. There's a lot of little things. The Honey Bear plant in the Shannon Township moved out to the old drug pharmaceutical in Shenango Township, and the Elwood Group ended up buying that building and going to make an R&D facility out there. So it's not going to be an empty building. And the Shannon's happy, the Shenango's happy. Things going out there. You didn't get to make it out because we were in a meeting, but I ran out to the lunch. I'll call it the Lunch Village Plaza still, but them guys will yell at me. But Tim Kelly, what he's done with his pickleball out there, and I ran into him on Monday night, and things are going well, and he's getting activity out there. That's been a nice development out there. And a year ago, when we took office, that place was dead, and look what Mike Wish and the supervisors at Shenango Township have done with that, and it's filling in. So probably the most exciting thing for me this year is Jersey Mike's is going in Union Township. So I love their subs, but I'm not supposed to eat them anymore after what I've been through in 2024, but I can steal one once in a while. Yeah, it's been a great year. You two have seen me change quite a bit with what I had to go through. But as Dan tells me, I don't know how to stay home and behave myself. I did push back and got myself back here as fast as I could. When I knew I needed to go home, this one would tell me next to us, hey, you need to go home and take a break. But I thank you for what you guys, I wouldn't be here today without you guys getting me through this thing and my family getting me through what I had to go through. We got through it. Today I can say I feel 99.9% better. I'm doing really good. I'm getting my energy back. I was up last night till after 10 o'clock, so that's saying a lot for me. I'm usually in bed by 9, but I was up at 5 this morning again. But I'm just thankful that I got through what I got through, and you two kept this place going when I wasn't here. And it was glad when I come back, I was glad to be here. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dan, and we're just very grateful that, from the health standpoint, things have worked out well for you. There were a lot of prayers said for you. Hopefully those prayers worked. No, I have to say, Chris's comment, his first year has gone fast, very fast. And in my time here, I've had the pleasure of working with some very good commissioners. But you gentlemen fall into that category. What I really appreciate, and I think the previous work that you both did before coming here has been so helpful. Your work in the public sector, in the legislature, and your work in both the public and private sectors. Yeah, you had a little bit of a learning curve, but not as big a learning curve as most people would have. And the thing I've really respected about both of these gentlemen is they work hard and they care about this county and they're very conscientious. And we're blessed. We're very blessed to the voters made some good choices. We're blessed in that respect. So I'm looking forward to another good year.
Yes.
And a particularly good health for you in 2025. I'm sure we all want that.
As long as I stay away from Joe.
And don't go to Jersey Mike's too long.
No.
Right? Once in a while. And we won't squeal on you when you do that. We'll keep it a secret. Well, Joe or Vanessa, anything that we've overlooked or any comments you wish to make?
So,
Vanessa, anything? Debbie, before we wrap up, we thank you. Week after week, you report to the folks in the county what we're doing up here, and we appreciate your fairness. And we look forward to another good year of working with you. So,
Thanks.
we'll wish everyone a happy new year. May I have an adjournment motion?
I'll second. Go ahead. You're
That's
done.
been moved by Mr. Sanada and seconded by Mr. Kennedy that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carries, the meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody. And Joe, you'll turn off the,
yes, sir.
thank you very much.
Okay, it wasn't bad. 57 minutes.
You told me 15.
An hour to
I gave you a little bit.
Debbie, here's your
Oh, yes.
packet.